Hello everyone, welcome to the monthly technical steering committee from the Linux Foundation Energy Project EVerest. Thanks for being here. I hope you can understand me well. I'm next to a lot of construction work on a trade show. We have presented EVerest on the e-mobility and electrical trade show eWorld in Essen today, and there have been quite some feedback, and let's dive into what else new on the technical side. First of all, antitrust notices. We know there could be competitors here, but please behave nicely. So what's new and what's EVerest? Let's start with that. So EVerest is the EV gateway for the big software ecosystem of LF Energy. We are related to everything what brings energy into a car, or basically also removes energy from a car. So the firmware stack for EV charging. Why is this necessary? Because this EV charging industry is highly fragmented, complex. There's a lot of standards, but everyone interprets them slightly different. There are hundreds of different dialects for the same standard, and we think it's totally inefficient to do it that way. You have really, really bad customer experiences if things are not working. And we want to solve that by having a unified software stack for EV charging. So basically for the core within every charging point. Yeah, so the code is on GitHub. You can check it out. What is the code doing? So we are, as the spider in the web, connecting the car with different standards, more to come, to the charger, to other local charger, to other home consumption, to home and solar batteries, to electric grid, dynamic price forecast, human machine interfaces, so displays, apps, whatever, and finally to all kinds of different clouds. And why are we doing so? Because yes, there are standards to do that, but there are so many standards as you have seen. And instead of creating new standards, you want to create one common implementation for all of that, plus the state machine in the middle. To help you with experiencing the software stack, you can try out our relay box. That's basically a charger development reference station. Basically way too much hardware, feature maximized, and you can use that for, oh, someone want to enter the meeting. You can use that for developing your own custom charging experience, your own solutions, because all the hardware is ready. We don't want to earn money with it. We don't want to sell much, but we want to boost you and your software development on EVerest. So what's new on EVerest? Let me quickly recap that from last time because it's just so cool. We have a really, really nice user interface created, which will be going into the main branch quite soon, where you can, let me fast forward a bit, drag and drop the configuration of your charge point. So basically load all the modules, can configure each module, can configure how the modules are connected between each other. This is especially interesting if you start to modeling your local energy situation. So what kind of power grid connection do I have? How many amperes maximum? What kind of fuses do I have? Where are all the chargers connected? So making sure that we never blow any fuse in the local grid. And yeah, can configure all the details of the charge points. What else? And today I have Kai with me, and he was 2 weeks ago on a big plugfest in the Netherlands from the Open Charge Alliance. And yeah, we did quite some interesting updates. Please, Kai.
Yeah, we were doing a lot of testing at this plugfest, and are currently working on some bug fixes to change a few things that we found out during the plugfest that weren't working so smoothly. However, we're also proud to announce that we are now supporting the complete OCPP 1.6 stack, including the security white paper with all the security profiles. We're still doing ongoing testing with the OCA's compliance test tool, as well as additionally we're working on our own test tool that will automate some of the processes and go into much more detail in some of the test cases, especially doing end-to-end testing with a simulated car through the whole EVerest stack creating a charging session, getting the meter values, and ending the charging session, and basically validating that all the OCPP communication that is necessary for a successful charging experience is correct. Currently on our roadmap for OCPP, we still have the ISO 15118 plug and charge support that's been backported to OCPP 106, as well as the auto charge white paper that will implement relatively soon. So can advance to the next slide. On the EVerest Framework side, the most visible change that happened in the last few days is that we reduced the default logging output quite drastically. You can still get all the logging messages you got before by just increasing the logging level to debug or to the verbose level now. Additionally to that, we did some bug fixes with some ambiguous JSON types, and we're preparing a pull request right now for some controller backend changes that are needed to fully support the EVerest admin panel that Marco showed a few minutes ago. So on the ISO 15111, on the ISO 15118 software stack, first of all, we'll be at the Char-In Festival in Poland at the end of this month, and we'll bring with us a new ISO 15118 software in the loop simulator that supports AC charging via the IEC 61851-1 and the ISO 15118-2 and -3 standards. The software in the loop simulator also includes a Slack simulator to simulate the whole Slack process, as well as a car V2G simulation module that generates EV V2G messages to test the communication with the charging station. Another thing is to get the state of charge from every car. It's unfortunately not possible to do this in the AC charging mode usually. So what we're trying to do is basically start with a DC session, get the state of charge from the car, and then downgrading that session back to AC charging. This way we hope to have the possibility to get the state of charge from basically every car that supports DC and AC charging. For the display app, we've been continuously working on the setup experience for that, especially the Wi-Fi and network connectivity setup. And this is progressing relatively well. And I think we'll probably be able to merge that in relatively soon. And there's also lots of smaller changes, lots of smaller bug fixes and changes to the user experience. But that's about it with the display app. And lastly, the engineering toolset we're providing will be extended relatively soon. We're right now working on a better build system experience with cross-compiling. So you can just basically download either a VM image or some container and be able to do cross-compiling from your normal powerful Linux host, and then be able to create an image that you can flash onto the charging station, either over the air or locally. Additionally, all of our boxes have a Node-RED setup on them. You can see this this dashboard on the top right here. This is basically so you can control lots of the things that you can also control over the onboard display of the charging station, but also over the web. And on the lower left, in the middle, you can see the Node-RED configuration UI, where you can also add your own automations or add your own user interface and change the one that we provide. So yeah, that's it from the new things that happened.
Okay, thanks, Kaim. Then a quick recap of what's next. And please note again, this is really up to prioritization and of you, the community, and whatever and whoever wants to do something next. So as we said, we already have on the company side this relay box, this development kit, which is about pre-certification. We have 61851 AC's charging stack. Kai showed the progress in Slack and OCPP. We have the user interface. And we also have already price-driven charging in our energy optimization. We will, by summer, have this delay box certified. We'll have way more stuff on the EVerest. We'll have basic price-driven charging and all the features, as I mentioned, fully and all rolled out, and also on the commercial track and over-the-air update for the software. What's coming next on the open source stack will be DC charging by the end of the year. We have support for German Eichrecht power meters. We will work with local credit card payment companies, so you don't have to go over OCPP for payment processes. We'll add ISO 15118-20, both bidirectional AC/DC next summer. Cost optimized hardware components will support. There are quite some vendors looking into that. Advanced energy management, we have a lot of ideas what we want to do on top of this. And for sure, then there's OCPP 2, we have EEBus, we have USEF ADR, we have the IEEE standard for the US demo. So there's way more to come after this. But short, quick introduction. We will go camping with basically half of the EVerest development team in the summer in the Netherlands. There's I think the biggest European hacker festival this year is in the Netherlands. And you can come. I think there's still a very few amount of tickets still available. And we offer a live EV charging hacking, maybe including the cars. Let's see, we'll bring at least 2 cars. Please don't break them. Yeah, and we're looking forward to see you there. And the next technical steering committee with all the updates and also all the impressions from the festival will be on the 28th of July. So in about, what is it, 5 weeks time frame. And we're looking forward to see a lot of you there. And before we start discussion, I would stop recording. And thanks a lot for the attention and see you soon.